tonight's informational meeting is about implementing core words. Um, First of all, thank you for being here or thank you for listening to the recording. Um, Tonight we are going to talk about, last month we talked about what are core words. And this month we are talking about how do you teach core words. And again, welcome. I am Margaret Edwards. I am a speech therapist in the Renton School District. And presenting with me today is...
I'm Carolee Worth, and I'm a speech language pathologist at a private clinic in Snohomish Speech and Language.
And so if you're listening to the recording, you can't ask us questions live. But if you do have questions, you can email, you can go to the NWACS website, and there's probably a place there where you can ask questions. So NWACS, what is NWACS? NWACS stands for the Northwest Augmentative Communication Society. It's been around since the 70s. It's one of the oldest running organizations that in the country that supports individuals with complex communication. We have an annual conference. We are all volunteers, and we like to know what you need. So if there's some need in the area of AAC that you can't find the answer to or not being met, let us know. And we can either point you in the right direction or come up with some other way to help you out. Well, today we're going to talk about 3 strategies for teaching core word of the week or month, modeling, and teaching core words through literacy. So we talked a little bit last month, like I said, about what are core words, but as a quick review, core words are about 80% of the words that we use most often in our language, most languages. So they're usually pronouns, prepositions, verbs, those sorts of words, usually not nouns. So they're usually not words like car and elephant. Those words we call fringe. And those words are important in AAC, but we're going to focus on teaching core words because these are the words that a person needs to make sentences. And they can be used across settings. So the first strategy I want to talk about is core word of the week or the month. So this is the way I teach core in my classes with students that I work with in high school. So first, I decide which 3 or 5 words that I'm going to focus on for that month. And once I decide those 3 to 5 words, I then make cards of the pictures that you see right here on the screen. I make those on cards and print them out. And so that's number 2. That's how I introduce the target words to my class. So I'll just hold up the word, and then they can say it on their core board or on their device. And then after that, for the remainder of the month, then I have activities that focus around the core words. So puzzles. And by puzzles, like I can just take the word can, print it on like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I can cut it into 3 or 4 pieces, and that can be a puzzle. You know, of course, I have to laminate it and put it on cardstock and laminate it. But then that can be a puzzle that they can use to play and put the puzzle together. Then it says can, then they can say can on their core board or their device. I make lots of PowerPoint stories. Sometimes we go to Tar Heel Reader. If you plug in the core word you're working on, then you can find stories that are related to the core word. It's important that the adults, and by adults in my school, I mean the teachers, and know which core words we're working on so that they remember to model them often. And then on the next slide, I'll show you, sometimes I'll make sample sentences and post these around the environment, which is the school, so the staff can know how to model the core word in short phrases. So at home, you can follow the same sort of procedure. You can decide which words you're going to focus on with your child, or if the school is doing core word of the week or month, they should let you know. You can focus on those same words. So you'll make a point of modeling those words, and you can put up sentence strips around your home so that you and other people in your home can remember to model and how you can model. So if I had a strip that said she can, I might put that up on the wall somewhere in the classroom. You can, I can, so that the staff can remember to model the word can, and then they can model using two-word phrases. Sometimes staff might need, instead of these just kind of displays, they might need pathways. So they might need to know how to find the word can on the student's device if it's on the home page. So that's something else you can put up in the classroom is the steps, what the staff needs to click on to get to the word can so that they can find it, so that they can model it. Assistivewear is a company that makes Protocol to Go, Protocol for Text, and some other apps. If you go to their website, they have core word classroom materials. This is just an example of something that they have, how to teach the word like. I do believe there's also a template where you can fill in your own information. And they have videos around teaching core. So Assistivewear is a really good resource among others.
So the next strategy that we're going to talk about today is simply just modeling the core words. You can find lists of what the top 10 or top 20, top 100 core words are, but a lot of them are typically on a core board or on a home page of a device. And so once you select that, if you're following the model of core of the week or core of the month and you've selected your 2 or 3 words, the next step is to put it into practice. So we're going to talk about modeling. Here's an acronym that is used commonly in the field, SMORES. The first thing that it discusses or suggests is slowing down. It's a great visual to use and just an acronym to help you remember slow your speech. It's great for me and myself in my practice to help me slow down. The next step is to model. So you physically point to the word on the core board or point to the word and use the word on the device for the child to show them how you're using it and ideally in a natural context. The next step is to respect and reflect. So you might interpret or think about if a child's excited or feeling happy about something, they might not have communicated. Sorry, I was just reading that up close. They might not have initially communicated that clearly, but you can tell they're excited. So you might model for that, if somebody is clapping their hands or making an exciting sound, then you might say, you feel happy, or I think you feel happy. I think you're excited. I think you like this. So I know I just threw out several examples, but you can match the feeling or the word for the child. Like is a great one. When a child is experiencing joy, simply just saying, I think you like this. This is something you like. And that leads right into the next step. The next R is repeat. So repeating it several times. You might slow down and simply just say, I think you like, I like playing. And so you can use just the word like several times, but you're saying it over and over. So they get that exposure and repetition. The next step is expanding. So it goes for repeating the phrase or building upon maybe what the child said or the student. So if somebody said bubbles, then you might say like bubbles or more bubbles if like or more are the core words of your week. So they would have used the noun and then you would be expanding their utterance by using a core word with what they might have said initially. And then the last one is stop and provide a pause. And allow your student or your child or the communication partner that you're communicating with to respond. So that's the acronym SMORES, just a nice strategy and steps to think about as you're putting these into practice. This is a resource just that we found and are sharing from the AAC coach, implementation, modeling in a natural context. I think this is really important and something, even though it's at the bottom, what I really like is that it says it doesn't have to be perfect. So one of the best things that I say to my families that I work with and to some of the teams that I get to consult with are it's okay to make mistakes. And I think it's a great time to show how to repair, and that it just, there's a lot of beautiful things that come out of those natural opportunities. So just thinking about, picking your core words. So say the word is go for the day or the week, all the different ways that you might be saying that. And so just modeling that in a natural context. And so you might have your core board or your device, and we're going to go downstairs. We're going to go eat breakfast. We're going to go to school. We need to go in the car. Time to go outside. You used that one word, but in all those different contexts. And so this is just a nice resource to say, that to just use it in a natural context and not be so focused on I have to use it within a specific activity or certain time of day, but just thinking about maybe a self-challenge of how many times can I use the word go today and in how many different ways. So it's just kind of taking a step back and making it feel more natural, which when you're starting to implement core and then a new strategy in your household, or it's one more thing you have to do during that time. So slowing down, which is one of the first steps, is more, and just stopping and thinking about using one word is just a nice way to ease into the natural context for you to model for your child. I think that's it.
Yeah. I also like too that it says generalization is not a concern because we're teaching in real life situations. So that's really awesome because you take out the step of learning something like in isolation, like in my therapy room, and then the next step of generalizing. So we don't need that bridge anymore because we're teaching in the context where we want the student to use it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you. I didn't read the whole thing, so I'm glad you pulled that out. I didn't read the whole thing in this presentation. I have read the whole thing. I think but yeah, no, it's important to show them in the natural context. And there's so many different ways we can use words. There's so many different things we want. There's so many different places to go. There's so many different things to like. There's so many different things that need to stop. So it can be fun to just embrace, okay, I'm going to try and use this word in as many opportunities as I can, and focusing just on the use of one word rather than trying to say everything with the system.
Right.
I think our next slide is a video, if I'm remembering correctly. So we're going to just shift screens really quick. But the video that we have to show is it just kind of pulls a lot of these pieces together and provides a nice way to kind of see what modeling looks like. So it's just a short 2 or 3 minute video that we're going to share with you.
Okay, just one moment.
Okay, I just wanted to say that just watching the video, it's nice to just kind of have some of those reminders of having everybody use the system with a child. And the more it is used, the more likely a child is to use it themselves. They need those opportunities and exposure to be able to learn how to use their system. We can't just hand them a system or put it in front of them and expect them to use it. So really, when we talk about modeling, it's learning to use it ourselves as we communicate with these children.
Yep, point. Okay, so on to the next last strategy is using literacy activities. So, most of us read to our children, or they are read to at a school or somewhere. So there's lots of books that focus on core. For example, here's some examples like Go Dog Go, I Can Do It Myself, and No David. So No David is one of my all-time favorite books. So and it says no several times in the book. And so every time you see you're reading and the text says no, then you can use your core board and point to the word no if that's on your core board. Or on Go Dog Go, same thing. Or I can if your focus is the word can. So finding some nice children books with nice pictures on it can be a nice way to work on core. If you don't think you can think of the core word while in the moment while you're reading, you can always put the core word on a sticky note and stick it on a page. If that will help you to remember to use it to model the core word. And there's a I don't know, the word's escaping me. It's called Tar Heel Reader, Shared Reader. So there is a website called Tar Heel Reader, but there's a special one called Tar Heel Reader, Shared Reader, in which there are core words. This is a screenshot that will show up on the bottom of a book you're reading, and you can pick how many core words you want to show up here. And if you use these little arrows over here, it can move the entire bottom to the left or right, and then you can get more core words. So it's a nice reminder that you're modeling core words, and you can just model them right there within the book. So pretty snazzy. And then predictable chart writing. I don't know if you're not sure what that is. There's a link at the bottom of this slide. But in predictable chart writing, the simplest form, there's lots of core words that are used, like she, is, I, like are all core words. So when you're doing the chart writing, you can model if the target word is like, you can read I like, and then you can point to like on the core board while you're doing your predictable chart writing. So this is actually a really great resource. I would highly recommend you go to Project Core and just have a look around at all the wealth of knowledge that's on that website. So phonological awareness. So if your target core word is just, for example, get, and you're teaching students literacy, then you're likely to be doing some rhyming at some point. So you would say, here's our word get, you would point to the word get on the core board, and then you would play with the word like, oh, take away the G, put the M, and it's met. Take away the M, put the L, it's let. Take away the N, the L, put the N, it's net. And then take away the N, put the G back, it's get. You get again. Then you can point to get on the core board. So that's just an example of some literacy activities that you can do and incorporate core words.
Great. So we are sharing some of the resources that we mentioned tonight, and a couple of these are the same from the previous presentation as well. So Assistivewear is a company that has a lot of great resources on there. That was the chart that we talked about toward the beginning. Project Core is a great website. We just referenced that as well for the literacy, the chart. I heard, oh my gosh, I forgot the name, but the predictable chart. There it is. Sorry, it wasn't in front of me. Saltillo is another company that has a lot of great resources for how to implement core. I have on there, or we have on there as well, our website for NWACS info. And I wanted to share with you, if anybody is watching this and has questions, our email address is info@nwacs.info. So info@NWACS.info. But you can also just go onto the website and there's a form to submit an email with questions too. So if any questions come up, please feel free to reach out for us. And then also the last resource on here or website is the tarheelreader.org, which is great for literacy implementation in core. Here's a great way to get connected with us. So you can go to our website, the www.nwacs.info. I put a direct link on here for get connected or get involved, excuse me. And here are the links to our social media. So if you're on social media and you want to take a look at what we have posted, Facebook specifically, we have a Northwest Augmentative Communication Caregiver Society group. And so it's just a nice group. It's a group for families primarily in Washington State, for parents to connect, parents or family members to connect, and just have another resource and another community that you can ask questions to, share ideas, and just be a part of. So Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube are all in there. I think we have one more slide. So I don't think we have questions today because nobody is on here, but if you want to, if anybody is watching this, you want to pop on and send us an email, we'd love to hear from you. We do have some more upcoming outreach nights for parents and caregivers. The next one is going to be Tuesday, December 7th. So we're going to talk about empowering team members. So we'd love to have you join. Feel free to invite your team members from the schools, private practices, other caregivers. If there's extended family members that are part of your child's life, we'd love to have all of you join. Into the new year, we're going to start talking about the Communication Bill of Rights. So all of these are via Zoom, 6 o'clock on Tuesdays. And if you have any topics of interest, or things that you would like to learn more about, please send us a message or an email, because we would love to be able to provide you with more information to make it helpful for you.
Yes. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.